well, now it's time to figure out what's safer with Schaefer.
And again, we're keeping it safer with Schaefer. And here's Schaefer. John Schaefer, good to see you again, as always, John.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about something that people I know is a question you have to get. I hear it out there.
Yeah.
Can insurance protect you from being sued?
It really depends. We're going to talk about that today, about
right.
your liability limits and making sure you're protected. So,
Okay. Now, I mean, in reality, I've heard this from countless.
Yeah.
Anyone can sue you at any time.
Correct.
But this, you're kind of hedging the bets where it's not as likely to happen.
Right. So one thing about auto insurance that I always tell customers about, is making sure you carry those higher limits. If you carry state minimum, everybody thinks they're covered if they get in an accident. You're not covered if you hit someone, you cause a lot of damage to that person or medical, and then the medical bills are $100,000. They're only going to pay the $25,000 on the bodily injury. And
Right.
That's it.
So carry higher liability limits.
That's right. And so that helps cover the medical bills, repairing or replacing your car and the other person's car you hit.
And that last one there is
Yeah.
also very important.
Paying for your attorney. So, with insurance companies, they'll go to bat for you, but they're only going to pay out what the policy limits are that you purchased.
Right. So you need to talk to your agent about
Right.
liability limits.
Correct.
All right, there it is, really.
Yeah.
You're covering your medical bills for one.
Right, yeah. And then same thing with the home insurance,
Yeah.
We talked about, if you've got a dog and they bite somebody, you have some people over. I've seen one incident where a customer called over from another company. They paid out $90,000 for a dog bite, $90,000. So, so it's another reason. And then if you've got children and they invite their friends over and they're jumping on the trampoline and somebody breaks their leg, you're responsible for that.
Yeah.
So
Or if you even have a trampoline,
Yeah.
you can, you've got to cover all of those things.
Right.
And I guess you shouldn't make the mistake that thinking the homeowner's policy is for just if your home burns down.
Right.
It's for a whole lot more.
Right. So that's one thing I always tell my clients is we ask a lot of questions at the Resource Center to make sure, like, do you own a trampoline? Do you have dogs? Do you have farm animals? If you have a horse and it gets out and someone hits it, you're responsible for that.
Right, right. That's where all that liability comes
Yep.
in.
Correct.
Right. Home and auto.
Yeah. So when are you protected? So we want to make sure you got to be enrolled in enough coverage to protect yourself. So really talking with your agent, making sure that he knows the exposures that you have at your house. Making sure you've got full coverage on your car versus liability. Liability.
Explain the difference. Yeah.
So liability, if someone hits your car and you only got liability, your insurance company's not going to pay out.
Right.
Because it would be the uninsured motorist. But if you have full coverage, you could pay your deductible, and then they would fix your car and then go after that person that hit you with no insurance.
Yeah. But if you only have the liability is what you've done to someone else, you have to be able to pay
Right,
for.
correct, yeah.
But it's not going to pay the damage.
Not going to
on
pay
you.
your stuff, if you get hurt or somebody. So,
okay.
Also, you do not commit, gross negligence, violating any laws. Out there robbing banks and hitting cars. So,
Yeah, probably they're going to say, nah.
yeah,
we're
so
not.
insurance doesn't cover that.
No, I'm throwing you a question out of left field, but I've also heard that if you don't keep your license plate up to date, if you don't do things like that, an insurance company can go, no, you're not following the rules.
There's always stipulations on
Yeah.
insurance, especially on claims, and that's why we have claims agents
Yeah.
that goes ins and outs of that.
So it may not be a good idea if you bought a new car to have those temporary tags that are 6 months
That's right.
expired.
Yeah. Make sure you have insurance on your car.
Yeah.
For number one. And then, so what may help on your home and auto here? Be proactive. Secure a home, your home insurance, and secure your home basically to avoid any kind of accidents. So slips, falls, broken boards on steps.
Right.
Anything that you're responsible for that. If your poor little grandma falls off and gets hurt, your homeowner's insurance is going to be paying out for her medical bills.
The home and the car.
Yep,
Upkeep.
yep.
Pay attention to upkeep.
Right. And so one thing I always recommend, especially if you have young drivers driving, is definitely get that umbrella policy. I try to sell that to my clients. That umbrella policy, if you exhaust your auto limits, so then that umbrella, the $1 million umbrella, would kick in and keep you from getting sued or losing everything that you saved for.
Yes, and of course, use local insurance agent. If they want to talk to you, get in contact. How do they do it?
Yep. Just call 417-766-4689.
There's your
or
QR.
Scan the QR code. You can contact me, and we're glad to help you out.
and you'll keep safer with Schaefer. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Tom.